Listen up. I know consistency sounds boring, but it works. Consistency is what literally gets every single founder, startup, entrepreneur, solopreneur, digital product creator to the next level. Let me tell you why I know this. So I currently am the vice president of marketing at Techstars, and we have 5,000 companies that go through Techstars, and they're startups, and they're doing their thing. And the ones that make it, guess what? They're consistent. So I know it's boring, but consistency is a must in business. That's how you can actually make it, because there are days that are hard. Consistency is what brings you through. There are days that you don't know what you're doing. You think you're not making the money. There are days where you're growing this much, and you know why? Because you're being consistent. Now that I have spoken about consistency and why I think it's so important, let's talk about how to be consistent. A consistency tip that I like, tip number one, is that having constant reminders everywhere. So I have a Peloton bike, and my name is, guess what? Consistency. I have a vision board that I did with my friend Melissa, and it was a values board. And that's where I said, you know what? Consistency is the name of the game for me this year. Number two, set up your environment for success. For me, the way to do that is put it in my calendar. If it lives on my calendar, it'll get done. If it does not, it will not. So what is it for you? Is it Post-it notes? Is it a to-do list? Do you write things down? It has to be prioritized in your every single day. That's the only way that you can actually make this happen, because otherwise it just goes away. At the beginning, it's new. You're like, yay, I'm going to be consistent. But if you're not actually having this in a dedicated space, in a dedicated day, that is going to go away. And so that's why you want to set your environment up for success. Number three, treat it like it's a real job, even if this is your side hustle. I work 9 to 5. I got a business. This is my side hustle. So for me, it is literally, I treat it like a business, like it's just as important as my 9 to 5. And I get my 9 to 5 done, so I can't touch that. So it has to come in other places. And so for me, the biggest challenge is that I wanted to figure out where I can put it in. I watch a lot of TV. I love Love Island, and I like all the dating shows like The Bachelor and stuff like that. Do I really need to watch those constantly? No, I do not. So I took those out of my schedule. There were times where I spent too much time on TV, and then I realized that. So that is what I want you to do. Take an audit of what you're spending most of your time on. That's not necessary. Also, you can still watch TV and do certain things. Like when I do my Canva work, so like a thumbnail, like for this, or if I do anything creative like that, I have TV on. I have my TV on one screen, and then on the other screen, I'm doing my Canva work. When I'm concentrating, like writing a script or doing something like a LinkedIn newsletter, I can't. I have it off. Sometimes I listen to music, but most of the time I need silence. So you can still do the stuff that you want to do. Just prioritize it the right way. This should be your business, this consistency. Whatever you pick to be consistent about, this is a huge thing in your life. Treat it so. Tip number 4, start ridiculously small. Do one thing only, like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day at 7 a.m., every day at 6 p.m., and that's how you do it. And then you keep doing it until it's such like a habit. Then you can stack habits. Number 5 is goals. Have a realistic goal. So for me, I have a staggered goal for YouTube. So right now I'm doing one YouTube a week. It goes out every Tuesday to teach the YouTube algorithm that I'm serious, that I'm going to keep showing up. Then as I get better at this, as I get faster at it, because I edit in Descript and it's new to me, once I get better at it, I can go faster. And so goal number 2, my staggered goal is 2 videos a week. My final goal in 2026 is 3 videos a week. And so that is my goal. It's realistic. I can do it. I have it staggered, so it's not so overwhelming. So set your goal and then be consistent to get to that goal. And tip number 6 is sleep is not optional. Sleep is important. I don't want you to do all this work and then get rid of sleep. So like I said earlier, I got rid of TV. What can you get rid of that's not sleep? Because you need to sleep. If you don't have enough sleep, then this is going to be too hard for you. You're going to have burnout. And my tip number 7 for you is accountability changes everything. So I am learning YouTube from Shane hummus. If you haven't checked him out, he's really great. And I paid for a pretty pricey membership with him. And so I am doing this for 6 months with him, and I have accountability in there. I also have a membership, not for YouTube, but for marketing and how to grow your online business, much, much cheaper. So check that out. It's cmogrowthguide.com/impact. And you're going to be accountable because we're going to meet. I'm actually going to talk to you one-on-one, and I'm going to help you with your business. And there will be audits, and there will be homework, and there will be one-on-one and conversations. So that is what really is going to make you stay accountable, because then you have someone that is going to be there in your corner, but also it's somebody that's going to see what you're doing and what you're not doing. So that is something that's important. I had a student in my accountability group or in my impact membership, like 6 years ago, and she was never, ever get to the next step. She never ended up doing any marketing work because she didn't want to be on camera. She was scared, and she wanted to grow on Instagram and YouTube. And so for me, that was the one push that I gave her. It wasn't even the strategy as much. It was like, show up. I will be there with you. You can interview me. And then we have 2 people on the screen, but get you on there. And then once she did, and I held her accountable in a nice way, she ended up flourishing, and she ended up showing up over and over again. But she needed that extra push, and that helped with accountability in a group like Impact. And the last one, number 8, is start with one thing. I mentioned this earlier, but I really want you to do that. What is the one thing that's going to move the needle for you? I decided in this year, my needle mover is going to be YouTube. So that's where I'm going to be consistent. What is the one thing that you can do? Start with that. Once you nail it, you can just stack it and continue to have more and more things on top of that. But starting with one thing is really the way to go, because if you have too much, you are going to burn out and you're not going to do it. All right. Consistency is the name of the game. Do me a huge favor. Please comment. Tell me what you're going to be consistent on. So again, I'm going to be consistent on eating more veggies, and I'm going to be consistent on YouTube. What about you?